So in about 13 hours from now, upon the making and recording of this video for you guys, the new Stardust event Part 1 event, including the banner, will be going live in SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. What's up everybody, Fortexfiend here. Welcome back to another video on SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, and we're going to ask the question, should you be pulling on the banner featuring GP02A and CHAR ZAKU 2? So we did receive some details from the official X account from the SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, and we're going to take a look at the teasers for these units and pilots and supporterships and asking the question, should we be pulling or not? We're going to kick things off with the UR limited time unit, which is going to be the Gundam GP02A, piloted by Gato from Stardust Memory. So it is going to be a support type as teased in the trailer, and look at what it has. The atomic bazooka, the map weapon, the nuke that everybody was talking about that is present in the OVA. So this is going to be our very first ever Power 6000 map weapon. Now, if we take a look at the other two UR supporter units that have a map weapon, there's Le Signe and there's also the Freedom Gundam. They don't even come close to the power of this map weapon, and it kind of makes sense because this Gundam in the OVA does have a reputation for what it does with this particular weapon. Now, my question is, with that amount of power, is it going to have some sort of a debuff, or is it just going to be a plain old boom, I'm going to smack you with this super powerful AoE attack? So I could see a lot of use on this in like maps where there's like a ton of enemies and you just want to hopefully one-shot them all, because 6,000 power is nothing to laugh at for an AoE attack. It's a tremendous amount of power, but my only question is that what debuffs is this thing gonna have? But all in all, that is pretty cool that we're getting our very first supporter unit with a map attack that has that much power. And I'm assuming the 6,000 power is its level 5, because if that's its level 1, that's even more insane. But I'm pretty sure that that's going to be its level 5 power. So this is going to be the little teaser here. It's getting its nuke weapon, which I think is really, really cool. Next, it's going to be the UR limited time character pilot that's associated with that mobile suit, which is going to be Anavel Gato. So he has up to 2 support attacks and counterattacks, which is fairly standard now for UR pilots. He is equipped with a character skill, which is Energy Charge 4. So he could restore his energy by 60%, which is quite a lot. So I'm assuming that the skills, or the weapon skills from his actual mobile suit, probably cost a lot, which is why they're giving him this. It's kind of interesting that this is what they decided to tease for this unit. I'm going to assume that maybe he's going to have some sort of like a boost range, like giving him a plus range to his weapons, or maybe he'll have like something that gives him 100% accuracy. I hope he has some sort of attack burst or something to like increase his DPS, even though he is a supporter unit, so then that way you can amplify the amount of damage he does with his AoE attack. But giving him energy charge level 4 is cool. He has one of the highest, if not the highest, energy recharging skills for a pilot. But I just think it's interesting that that's what they decided to highlight with his character. So I'm hoping he has some sort of like an attack burst, or maybe MP increase. That would be insane. And then some sort of like a boost range +1, or maybe like giving him +1 to mobility for 1 turn, or even something like 100% accuracy. So with a limited time pilot though, we have to assume that what he has is going to be a bit better compared to some of the non-limited pilots. But this is what they're showcasing for him right now. I think it's interesting. We're just going to have to find out more. Next is going to be CHAR ZAKU 2, which is, I'm a lot more interested in this unit compared to the GP02A. So they decided to highlight his EX skill, or its EX skill, which deals more damage the higher the HP is. We don't know exactly what that percentage modifier is. I'm going to assume it's up to 17%, maybe 20%. And then they also gave us a sneak peek of one of its passives, which attack is increased by 30% when HP is full. So we just had Zeta Gundam, the UR limited Zeta Gundam, which also has something similar. However, it's a 20% increase to attack when HP is 75% or higher. This one has to be full, so you're definitely going to want to use this mobile suit with a pilot that can recover HP, or maybe even has something like Sway, for example, because you want to retain that full HP, because that 30% increase is actually pretty substantial. So if you're able to maintain that, or maybe like have a pilot that has like HP regen. Maybe one of its passives might be like an HP regen for an offensive unit. I think that would definitely be very beneficial. But from what they're highlighting here, dealing more damage the higher the HP is, having 30% increased attack when HP is full. My guesses is that its pilot is probably going to have some sort of an HP recovery, and maybe this mobile suit will have some sort of a passive that has like an HP regen. But again, we'll find out, but this is what I'm getting from the teaser from this particular unit. Now, its pilot is going to be CHAR Aznable from the origin. UR pilot, non-limited, so rejoice CHAR fans. You know, if you don't get him here, you can get him on other future banners. So he has an EX ability, which is going to be his final passive that increases mobility by 15%. So that's pretty interesting, and to me, that screams I'm going to be a good pilot for PvP, perhaps, because the higher your mobility, the better your speed is going to be. So that's what I'm getting from this pilot already. He has attack burst level 4, which is pretty good, increasing his damage dealt by 20%. And basing it off of his actual mobile suit, I wonder if he's going to have some sort of increased range +1, because again, his EX skill hits harder the higher its HP is. And not only that, but you want to be able to retain the range, because the more you're at range, right, the more you're at the maximum amount of range, the higher chances you are of maintaining not being counterattacked. So you can actually retain that full amount of HP. And then I'm thinking maybe they might give him an HP recovery, or maybe they might give him sway. One of those abilities or skills would definitely benefit him the most, seeing as his mobile suit needs to have that full HP to be able to maximize on its full capabilities. But all in all, solid pilot. I love the attack burst level 4. The increased mobility is unique because to me, it just screams this pilot needs to be used for PvP or Master League with that mobility 15%. And finally, the warship is interesting. So this banner only has one limited unit, kind of like the last one that we just got. I thought that this supporter ship was going to be limited based on how they were releasing the banners, but I guess I was proven wrong, and this one is not. So we're going to be getting the Eyphar, Sinapus, and Albion. I mispronounced that. My bad. The tag is interesting. It's test type. So I'm assuming the new mobile suits we're getting, and also maybe the ones we're getting for the event for free, have to be of test type, because right now, the only if we're talking URs, right? The only URs that I know that are of the test type tag are the alt ones, which are Super Hyperion and Aquarius. Those are the only URs right now within that tag. And then afterwards, if we're talking like notable SSRs, we got Gold Frame Amatsu. We have the G-Quux is also part of that. I think Sword Calamity is part of that too. Red Frame Astray. The Murasame, that prototype one that comes from Seed, is also part of that. So it's an interesting tag, and I'm pretty sure they chose this tag because the units that we were just talking about for the banner, and again, the event units for the Stardust Memory Part 1 event, is probably going to have this tag. So my guesses is that maybe for Master League Season 1, we could be seeing this as like a potential tag that they're going to be using. Perhaps, maybe. I'm just throwing things out in the air there because I'm trying to figure out why they decided to give test type as the tag for this UR supporter ship. And it's going to be increasing the stats by 25% for units with that tag. And the support skill is an HP restoration instead of an energy restoration. So interesting ship, interesting tag. All in all, I think it's a solid banner. I think the selling point obviously is going to be that GP02 with having that 6,000 map attack, which I think is pretty crazy. We don't know anything else though. I'm hoping there's a debuff attached to that because it would make it more desirable. Now, should you be pulling on this banner, if any of these units are your favorites, I know there's some love for Stardust Memory because it is a pretty good OVA. It's the Top Gun of Gundam. Then by all means, you're going to be pulling. And if you're a whale and you love having every unit, you're going to pull. But if you are a free-to-play player, and I know a lot of you have been saving for like stuff like Gundam Wing, Endless Waltz, 00, even that Seed Destiny event, which we should be getting for the 3rd month because they did tease that on a developer post, then I would recommend holding off. I would recommend for the event getting those free units, kind of like how we did for the Astray event, leveraging those units to attain the bonuses for the drops, because I'm pretty sure that this upcoming event, the story event, is going to have the exact same structure as the Astray event. And because, again, I'm kind of noticing that's what they're doing with these event stages. And if they do something different, we're going to find out what that is. But I think that's what's going to happen, because we know that we're getting 2 free pilots and 2 free SSR units. So leverage those units first if you're free to play, because again, limited resources. Right now, the diamond economy isn't the greatest. The diamond economy is supposed to be improved per the survey results that we got. We just don't know when that's going to happen. So for those of you that are free to play, light spenders, and you are unsure, I would say pass on this banner for now. I honestly think objectively that the best banner was still the Strike Freedom banner with Eternal and Lacus. I think this banner compared to the Zeta banner, it's a toss-up, but I'm going to probably have to give the edge just a little bit to the Zeta banner, only because that pilot, that supporter pilot, and Shirako is just an insanely good supporter pilot. But then again, we don't know exactly what Gato is going to have for the rest of his skills, but based on what we've seen, or what we've seen so far, I think that banner is also still better. But again, if any of these are your favorites, or if you are a whale, then by all means, you're going to pull. But for free to play, use the free units first, see what they can do for you, hold off, and then maybe if you still have that itch, throw a few multis here or there. It's not going to hurt, but just be mindful of your resources. All right, guys, well, that's going to go ahead and conclude my should you pull for this video. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Again, the event is coming out very, very soon upon the making of this video. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about these units, the pilots, and also the UR supportership. And let me know what your pull plans are. I'd love to hear all of it from you guys. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.